welcome back to your second classical guitar lesson. My name is Matthew, and today we're going to zoom in on the most fundamental building blocks of our playing hands technique. Every movement we repeat, whether it's efficient or inefficient, becomes muscle memory. At first, both kinds of movements probably feel equally unnatural and awkward. That's why I love today's exercise. It helps prevent or retrain the most common technique pitfalls by using your guitar to give you feedback and to act as guardrails. Let me take a second to ask that if you end up enjoying this, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and share. It means a lot. It's not that hard to understand the criteria for what makes our strokes either functional or dysfunctional. We have two sets of hand muscles. The closing muscles that we use to grab and hold objects, and the opening muscles that we use to release and extend our fingers. Which muscles do you think are stronger and more coordinated? It's the closing muscles, because we need to grab on for dear life and grip objects, but we rarely need to let go with any amount of vigor. And so, if we can use the closing muscles as the basis for making our guitar playing movements, it will naturally feel a lot easier. Beginners, especially kids, often try to stabilize their hand by either putting their thumb here and playing with their fingers, or putting their fingers here and playing with their thumb. And of course, us teachers are advocating that that's not a good idea, because we want to start in a much more neutral, ready to play lots of different things sort of position. But the student's instinct isn't entirely wrong, because when you touch the guitar, it gives you a sense of stability. But a more refined way to do it is, instead of gripping the guitar, we can use the strings to give us a sense of stability and feedback. Classical guitar has two main types of stroke. Rest strokes, where the finger lands on the next string after playing, and free strokes, where the finger moves past the next string without landing on it. And the biggest difference in execution is just basically where you position your big knuckle, either far enough forward to have the arc of the finger miss the next string for a free stroke, or a little further back so that the arc leads the finger to land or rest on the next string for a rest stroke. Imagine just a single string floating in the air. If you wanted to set it vibrating, I doubt your first instinct would be to do it like this. You're more likely to do it like this. But because the guitar has all these other strings really close by, we start to hesitate and change the way we approach playing, because we're basically so worried about not hitting the next strings. In the first lesson, we learned to get into the prepared position with our three fingers I, M, and A on the first three strings, and our thumb a little out front on the fourth string. Now we'll actually start to play the string with our thumb, but the critical thing is that the three fingers stay touching their strings, and we just initiate the movement from the base of our thumb. Then we replace the finger back on the string, and so we'll hear a note and then a rest. From there, we'll start using our index finger, and it will flick in towards your elbow. The main thing we want to look for is this big segment of the finger to go in towards yourself. You can get a nice amount of flick. Then we do the same with M. M is the longest finger, and so it most will tell you if you've managed to get yourself set up far enough forward this way to have the arc clear the next string. Again, watch for the big segment moving in. And then we can do the same with our A finger. A finger can be a little tricky to see what's going on. And so if you need to, you could use a clever mirror or camera. But again, we just want to make sure that we're going in towards ourselves. And then the pinky can be a little funny as well. And so I'd recommend to just let it go along for the ride. And if you find yourself constantly sticking your pinky out, if you gently put an elastic band or hairband around it, just to remind you that you don't need to stick it out for a few weeks or whatever it takes, you can probably train yourself out of that habit too. So then when you're getting good at it, you can try going in a sequence. But always returning back to the prepared position. And then we can also practice doing chords. And so let's try just the 3 fingers. And so we're going to start the stroke with our thumb down, and at the end of the stroke, our thumb will still be down. And all 3 fingers move together, sort of into a fist. And so we could practice doing back and forth between the thumb and fingers like this. And then the last one I would do is maybe a complete chord with the thumb too. And what we don't really want to do is feel like we're grabbing the strings and trying to pull them away this way. But actually, we want to keep this part of our hand pretty still and just allow the thumb to go this way and your fingers to go this way. At the end of it, you'll probably contact your fingers and thumb together, like this.